Welcome again to our program, Women to Women. I'm Carol Powers, your hostess, and we have a special lady with us tonight who I'm going to call a pioneer, but I'm not going to let you meet her for just a couple of seconds yet. We'd like to thank our sponsors in the first half of our program, Villa Basque Deli and Cafe, home of Pete's famous and delicious Basque chorizo right in Carson City. We'd also like to thank Carpenter Nevada LLC, importer of fine Portuguese olive oils, aged balsamic vinegar, and international health teas. So I'd like to have you meet Debbie Sullivan. Debbie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Debbie, we've only known each other for a few months, but it's always been a pleasure. And I think I really do need to call you a pioneer of sorts. And Debbie is an encouragement to me, and I'm hoping that she's going to be a wonderful encouragement to all of you women and many men out there who are viewers, because she's undertaken to do something brand new at midlife. And she and her husband are the owners of the brand new Sunshine Deli Bakery and Cafe here in Incline Village. And we're taping in their deli this evening. So we'd like to thank you very much for your hospitality and letting us come here, Debbie.
Welcome. Thank you.
Debbie, we need to get acquainted with you, which means I'd love to know, where did you grow up and where did you get that gorgeous red hair?
Well, I grew up in the Midwest. It was Minnesota. I was on a farm most of the time.
Okay.
And then moved to the city.
So if you come from Minnesota, and double whammy, if you come from a farm, you've got a lot of work ethic, you've got a lot of hardiness, because you're used to some very severe winters that many others of us in the country don't have to go through. Yeah. What is Minnesota like growing up there?
It's a nice area. It's very. It was more of a tourist area that I was in.
Were you around the Minneapolis-St. Paul tract of land?
No, farther north.
Much further north.
Yeah, closer. It was a company close to Fargo, North Dakota.
Fargo, North Dakota.
That area,
was
but it was Detroit Lakes is where I grew up.
All right. I know I've been up there in Minnesota. I have a son who lives there. And one day I walked out into his driveway to get into the rental car. And I put my hand, it was February, and it was like putting my hand on dry ice. Oh, yes. I left part of my skin on the surface of the car. Yes. And I said, for real?
I did that as a child too.
Will it grow back?
There's always you want to put your tongue on.
Oh, no. I remember that film. I remember that film, Fargo. Yes. So, Debbie, how long was it that you lived in Minnesota? All of your childhood into your teenage years, into your young adult life?
Yeah, I went through high school there, met my husband there, had a son, and then we moved to California.
All right.
It was early 70s.
And what brought you to California?
My husband was going to go to school, but we ended up getting sidetracked, and his sister and brother-in-law brought him into the machinist business, and so we settled into the Bay Area. Okay,
so you were around the San Francisco area.
Correct.
And he had plans to go to school, like many of us do, and then family or friends or business opportunities come along, and we decide, we make a decision, you know what, this appeals to me more. And it can be for financial reasons, it can be for family necessities, family decisions. Yeah. I understand that. How long were you in California?
We were there longer than Minnesota.
That's a long time.
Yes, we were there till about 2004.
And in 2004, you headed towards Nevada?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So what kind of a business? Were you involved in the business around the Bay Area, around the San Francisco Bay Area?
We had a plating business.
You had a what?
A plating business.
Okay, a plating business.
And so we restored antiques, and we also did hotel-type restoration of silver, and also industrial, which was the most profitable.
All right. So you have a sense of history about you. If you like to restore antiques, what is maybe the most unusual piece that you ever came across that caught your interest?
I had an a glass armoire that I restored, and we had part of this restoration business. We had an antique shop on the side too.
All right.
And so we collected a lot of stuff that we ended up liking, but we had to sell it because that's part of the business.
Right.
But that case I kept, and so I actually kept that.
That's
one.
in your home today?
Yes.
All right. I just have to ask this question. You helped your husband run the antique business, okay, and the restoration and the plating. So who kept the books?
Myself.
You do?
Yes.
All right. And I know that just a little bit of the background knowledge that I have of you, you also keep the books in a fairly well-known casino here in the Lake Tahoe area.
Yeah, I work in Crystal Bay as a payroll manager and some slot auditing and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Where does that soft voice of yours come from?
I think I got that from my mother. Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean you're intimidated easily, does it?
No, it's just it's my husband and myself are kind of soft-spoken.
All right, because with that flaming red hair, there has to be a lot of ignition power, okay, behind you when necessary.
Yeah.
So Debbie, this at this time of your life, which is kind of midlife,
Yes.
you and John must have had some interesting discussions about purchasing a business, because your husband John is working in another business.
Right.
You're working as I'm sure a very efficient and long time keeper of the books in a well-known casino. What brought you to the point of taking this step of risk in buying a brand new business?
It's just something that we've always had a business, and so we needed to do that again. And this was an opportunity that came along, and we went for it.
And you know, you're saying something of real interest there. It's one thing to work for other people. It's entirely different to own your own business.
Yeah, it's a different challenge for sure.
What do you think it is, Debbie, that brings you back wanting to own your own company, your own business? What is it that you don't get when you work for somebody else, but that you do manage to produce and to be a part of when you own, when you're invested in your own?
Well, you're making your own decisions. I
Yes.
mean, it falls back to you. Whether it's good or it's bad, it's going to be your own decisions, and you have to live with it, whether it succeeds or not.
Do you ever sleep poorly at night?
Yeah. There's times you don't sleep at all.
Yes. Do you ever consider yourself a person who is fearful?
I think we all have a little bit of fear, but I think that's what keeps us going. I mean, you can't just stay with the fear. You have to.
You have to move.
You have to confront it.
Yes. And that perhaps is a very important lesson that you're giving us right now. You know, I have been afraid at times of change, to take a step that puts me on ground that I've never been on before. When I retired as a teacher and my husband and I decided to go into business, I had never been a businesswoman in my life. So I thought, well, will the skills transfer? I worked for someone else.
Yes.
Did your skills transfer? Are they still transferring from the casino, from your San Francisco Bay business of historical restoration into the Sunshine Deli today?
Yeah, I think all our life experiences help us to build on. You know what works and what doesn't. You know, when you work for somebody, you know you're 9 to 5 or something like that, and
you can kind of go home and call it a day and relax. Sometimes you can bring your problems from a place where you work for someone else back to your husband. You can talk things over, and maybe it's a relational situation, but you're not paying the bills at that place.
Correct.
When you come into a brand new business, you had some idea of the responsibilities that you're going to be taking on, and yet at this stage of your life, you did. And I consider that to be bold, and time will tell, but the changes that you've brought about inside of the Sunshine Deli are remarkable. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
the colors, the menu, and the hospitality that's given. I think everyone's appreciating it very much.
Yeah, it seems like it's what the area needs.
Yes.
We're trying
Yes.
to cater to the clientele.
Let me ask you this question. You do not live in Incline Village.
No.
Okay.
We were down in Carson City area.
All right. So when you came up here, were you looking for a specific type of business, or were you looking for anything that had a need to it? This area has a need.
Yes.
How did you come across this business?
Actually, my husband found it next, because he works close by.
Okay.
He just could see that it needed something.
Attention?
It was just lack of what the community needed, what the rest of the deli itself needed. Everything was stressed, I think, for it, and he just felt we could do it. And
Okay.
so he.
Have those feelings ever changed since purchasing the business?
No, I mean, there's days that you're like, why did we do this for, but, everything's like that.
Oh, yes,
You have that
yes.
in your job, too, it's like, why am I here? But, yeah, it's just.
Well, whether you know it or not, it takes courage to run your own business. It really does. In these days and during these times in our economy, not every state, of course, is the same. But Nevada has had its fair share, I think we can say, of unemployment difficulties. And getting back on track with a brand new business requires confidence in both of yourselves. How do you manage a personal life with your work at the casino, your bookkeeping, John's work at his other place of employment, and with this place? How is there a personal life at all?
Sometimes right now, I mean, I would have to say probably not a lot, but my husband is like my best friend and everything, so that really helps a lot. So we've looked for the goal down the road that it's going to get easier, once we've learned some of
Okay,
this
you
stuff.
say that John is your best friend. How long have you been married?
40 years.
40 years,
Yes.
and that's special.
Yes.
That's special. Then I believe you when you say he's my best friend. You can't be married to an enemy and survive very long, okay?
That's true.
What makes a best friend and a husband? I'm curious.
I just think you can be yourself. You can say anything you need to say or what you have to say, and they don't hold it against you. It's just.
And it takes a very
just feels
special
good.
spouse to have that openness of spirit.
Yes.
To receive what you have to say, because feelings can get hurt. They can get trampled on every once in a while, and you have to find your way back in that marriage or in that friendship within the marriage to ground that can heal.
True.
Can heal. It can't be everybody's fault if this went wrong, okay?
Yeah,
It can't just be your fault or his fault, okay? There has to be
true.
some trading off there. Okay, well, when we come back, we have some more questions about what it's like to step into a business that you've never been in before, okay? And we'll do that very shortly. Don't go away.
Join us at the Carson Nugget for The Prize is Right, our 3 million point swipe and win giveaway happening every Sunday through Thursday. You can win up to 100,000 points instantly at our kiosk, and all you have to do is swipe. Only at the Carson Nugget.
Hi, I'm Stephen Lincoln with CarsonCityHomes.com, Carson City's original online real estate resource.
At CarsonCityHomes.com, you get effective and easy-to-use tools to help you select your next home today. With our easy-to-use website, you can search listings throughout Northern Nevada and narrow the results by selecting every facet, quirk, and quality you desire. Visit CarsonCityHomes.com.
Apex SCF provides cutting-edge, hands-on training that effectively addresses today's threats of violence.
The Apex Stay Alive course teaches proven methods for personal protection and attack countermeasures that can be applied in any environment. In your home, at the workplace, or on campus, Apex will teach you the necessary skills to stay alive, including how to recognize and react to an active shooter scenario.
If you knew you had to fight for your life tomorrow, would you train today? Contact us now to sign up for a class in your region.
A fire-adapted community is prepared to survive a wildfire with little or no firefighter assistance. To help prevent ignition by embers, remove dead and dying plants from around your home. Be sure to remove low-hanging branches and the flammable plants underneath your trees, also known as ladder fuels. Non-flammable plants and pathways create separation and help prevent fire from spreading to your home. Make it lean, clean, and green.
Visit livingwithfire.info for more tips to save your home.
Football is back! And it's your turn to score with Carson Nuggets touchdown to cash drawings, where you can win up to $50,000. Come down every Friday and Saturday for your chance to win big.
Welcome back to the second half of our program, Women to Women. We'd like to thank our sponsors for this particular half, which are carsonnow.org. It's the 24/7 place to go. When you want to know what's happening in Carson City, go to carsonnow.org. We'd also like to thank the Nevada Appeal and the Record Courier, who are constantly encouraging and supporting our local businesses here in Carson City. Please remember to shop locally. Those small businesses are the backbone of America. And remember to look for those special coupon books in their Sunday editions. So let's return to Debbie Sullivan, our guest for this evening. And Debbie, again, welcome back to Women to Women.
Thank you.
You know, Debbie, we've been talking about the challenges, but it's kind of in your blood that you have business instincts. You have a feel for the businesses and for what communities are appreciative of. So here with the Sunshine Deli, we know that you have created an interesting new menu. Sometimes it reflects the Mediterranean diet, sometimes it reflects your own creativity. What are some of the new features of the Sunshine Deli menu that you'd like us to know about?
Well, we've offered breakfast now. We're doing crepes. We have the savory crepes, or we have the...
Those are delicious.
Yes. And we've brought in some omelets also. We've spread out a little bit in the lunch menu too. We're offering maybe 3 to 4 different wraps per day as opposed
3 to 4
just
different
2.
wraps. Those
Yes.
are always delicious and
Yes.
healthy.
Yes.
And I know that John has kind of a little side business at lunchtime out in the community of Incline Village.
He's has a route, and people can sign up for it. He'll deliver lunch, and he does it
Freshly
from
made.
Yes, and he does different days. He goes to different businesses.
Wonderful. You know, Debbie, a couple of times when I've come in here, just kind of with my husband, I've seen you with a hat on, but I've seen you doing at least 5 or 6 different jobs, okay?
That's the deli business.
That's the deli business. That's business in general. You really have to be kind of a girl Friday, not only for your husband, but for the customers, for the employees. What are your hours of business? How early does it start?
We open at 6:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And then for breakfast, and we run breakfast through the day, and then close at 4. And on Saturdays, we're open from 8 a.m. till 2.
Okay, until 2 on Saturdays.
Yes.
And I would imagine that a lot of your business is seasonal.
Yes.
Because you have a summer tourist industry, but you also have a winter skiing industry.
That's true, yes.
So you kind of have the best of both worlds, so to
Yeah.
speak. Have you ever had any scary experiences coming from Carson City up to Lake Tahoe in the winter?
A few.
A few? Okay. But you've survived them all.
Yes, yeah, it's mostly winter, that's true. The snow is the worst.
I understand that you've also had other businesses besides now the deli business, the casino, the plating business, and the historical, restorations. But you've also been involved in
We were in the power sports industry, which was motorcycles.
power sports.
Yes.
I can't imagine you on a big Harley.
No, but we had it was Ducati, KTM, and Triumph was our dealership we had, and dirt bikes are the KTM. So
Did you ever compete on dirt bikes?
No, I took that up quite late in life, but so I enjoyed it, but I was never competitive. My son raced motorcycles, and now my grandson is actually racing motorcycles.
That's in the family
Yes.
too. What have you learned in terms of being a wife and a mother, a grandmother? That where is your role in the family? How do you see yourself in terms of yourself as a female?
I think you're kind of the glue that holds things together. feel all the emotions, I guess. It's a wonderful, you know, being a wife and then also being a mother, but doesn't top the grandmother part.
Oh, okay,
to
okay.
say. That's wonderful too.
You know, I had the privilege of meeting your grandson not too long ago, and he's quite a character. He's only, how old?
7.
7, but so inquisitive and full of knowledge about the outside. He's an outdoors type of person.
Yes.
But I also see in him that curiosity that you have about history, about places, about what lives there. He's very adventuresome.
Yes, yes.
And I can see that that special relationship between you and your grandson, as well as with his grandfather, is quite special. It's unique.
Yes.
So you see yourself as the glue that holds things together. And you know, sometimes that's not a very flattering role. It's not a very public or a role that society would necessarily say, oh, let's feature this glue.
Yeah, there's probably.
And yet, I think you've hit upon a very important role that women are uniquely designed, both emotionally, sometimes intellectually, but physically, we carry a lot of burdens. Not to say that men don't carry burdens either, but there's something about being able to come back into a home where there is a woman, where there's a wife, there's a mother, there's a caretaker, there's a teacher if need be, and it makes home the place to feel you're most comfortable. Do you feel you've accomplished that?
I think so, but I feel that we always have to work on it. You know, it's not
It's
a
a
done
process.
thing. Yes, I feel that you have to give more than you receive, and that's just.
And I think that's a natural thing. As I've learned to become acquainted with you, you are definitely a giver. And when you receive, it's kind of with a shyness. You're not expecting that. That's a very special quality. You have a sense of humbleness about you that is observant to the other person who's with you. I noticed that in your deli, you have made some significant changes from the time that you purchased it. What was on your mind? What did you want to create with the colors in here, or with the new look?
More warm and fun. I just feel it's a warmer environment to come into.
Okay.
And we've opened it up a little bigger. So that
Yes, you've certainly made it bigger. And the colors remind me, to tell you the truth, of the Russian tea room in New York,
really?
in Manhattan, yes. And I've noticed that your customers really seem to be quite taken aback by all that's been accomplished.
I think they're more comfortable. It was a little challenge for them to go through while we were in the process, you know, but they did it.
Yeah, they stick with you.
Yeah, they're good.
What's the difference about being here in Incline Village as opposed to Carson? Why didn't you open up a deli or buy a deli that was already established, as this one was, in Carson City?
I thought that this was a good area. We didn't.
Which is
really
not to say that
find-
Carson City is not a good area.
No, I'm
but
not saying that. It's not that. It just didn't find the opportunity there.
Okay. And Nevada is a beautiful state.
It is.
No matter where you go. I think that Incline Village and Carson City are very fortunate to both be here in the mountains and close to the lake, but here it's even closer.
Yeah, the people are wonderful here.
What do you, your customers are basically, what kinds of customers? What do you notice about their interests and their likes? Do they ever make suggestions to you about the deli in terms of menu?
Oh yeah, everybody has their likes, and we try to. We don't have the same thing every day, so it changes weekly. And you know, the customer will come in and say, you know, I haven't had this in a long time. Do you still make it? And then we'll make it. You know,
Okay.
Probably next week we'll do that. So it's.
Do you notice a difference in what customers are asking you to serve? A more healthy, less fatty diet?
Yes. We have a lot of people that have special diets, and we're trying to accommodate them. We don't have fried foods, so it's more.
What are some of the specialties in the vegetables? I've noticed that in your case there are some very tasty looking and unusual looking vegetables. I've never seen them done that way before. What do you do?
We use olive oil and balsamic vinegar, and we also sell that in our deli.
What are some of those featured vegetables?
Roasted Brussels sprouts. We have roasted cauliflower. We also do it's not cooked, but it's broccoli. And my husband came up with that
idea. All right.
And he never liked broccoli at all. and he actually does now. So he eats it. And
he's very proud about the fact that he came up with this particular.
Yes. He's come up with a few good dishes.
So people out there who are in defiance of broccoli, you ought to try John's broccoli. If John likes it and eats it at the age of 50-some, okay, you might too, all right. Yes. What are some of the disadvantages that as a business owner you have to kind of work with on a daily basis or at least on a weekly basis? What sacrifices have you made in order to take on another business? What personal sacrifices do you think?
I've given up some of my weekends. Some of the evenings, I don't sit and watch TV anymore too much. I'm out buying, stuff for the next day. Sometimes when we decide somebody wants a special order and you have to go get it, that kind of stuff, you just do it.
How do you go about getting your name? When you become the new owners of a business and the business takes on a different name or a different look, how do you and John go about getting your name out there in the area?
A lot of it has been with his route. He tells a lot
his lunch route.
Yeah, he's telling it. And we have a website, My Sunshine Deli, and that's listed on there, and it talks about our new dining area.
Okay.
And then doing a show with you.
She's mentioning a show that we're going to be doing up here with our dipping, our extra virgin olive oils and our breads, balsamic vinegars, etc. So do you have a goal? Do you and John have a goal for this deli? Let's say that in 5 years or in 10 years, where would you like to have it be? Where would you like to take this deli to?
Oh, gosh. That's as far as we can. That's the plan. Hopefully to even grow out of this particular location.
So right now, do I hear you saying that it's a challenge daily just to keep up with it because you are the new owners of it, and yet you have a long-term plan to be here, to develop it.
Right.
And I think the people of Incline Village would absolutely love to know that this is going to continue.
Yes.
Because I see as they walk in, they're intrigued by the different offerings that you have. It's new, it's different, and it's also very tasty.
Yes. I've met a lot of really nice people here.
Nice feedback and good feedback, okay.
Yes.
How do you handle people that are disappointed as a customer if they don't, if they aren't able to get exactly what they want? And that's kind of a challenge for a new owner.
I mean, we try to accommodate the best we can, make suggestions, or they can offer what they'd like to have.
And you try to work with them on the spot to develop that, and that's great. That's customer service.
A lot of times we might custom things for people that.
Okay, so you customize as well as plan a weekly change in your menus. That's good to know. Well, Debbie, we wish you the very best for the next 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, okay? I think you've accumulated enough businesses. I think that you have definitely made a difference here in Incline. So we look forward to having you and seeing you in the deli. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Deb. Take care. We'll see you next week with a very special guest. Have a good evening. Good night.